Hello, Holy Trinity. It's the second Tuesday of Ordinary Time in a not so ordinary time. And I'm recording this on Martin Luther King Day and also Inauguration Day. Nothing ordinary about this time. A few days ago, my tears were streaming as I finished a book called My Journey Home, The Kingdom of the Poor. It's an autobiographical reflection drafted in the last year of his life by Charlie Strobel, a Catholic priest and founder of Room in the Inn, a continuum of care for unhoused people living on the streets of Nashville and beyond. What a gift Charlie was, and how he saw goodness in every single person. The book is less about him and more about the people in his life that formed him and touched his life, and with whom he shared the message, "You are loved." The book is packed with truth and humanity. The Nashville author Ann Patchett, who was a friend of Charlie's, said the book is a manual for decency and kindness. It was a balm for my soul, an inspiration for me to be better and love better. We should all hope for religious and political leadership that displays these qualities of the heart and soul, that listen to pastoral and prophetic voices. At this not so ordinary time, I'm being drawn to those voices and into myriad soul circles, places of deep belonging and compassion, like Room in the Inn, that are quietly and courageously standing against injustice and feeding the hunger of the world for kinship, the kinship of God that Jesus ushered in. I love these words from today's Gospel from Mark. Jesus and his disciples began to make a path while picking the heads of grain. I'm reminded of a friend of Jesus, the beloved late Congressman John Lewis, who would often say, "We will find a way to make a way out of no way." Jesus and his disciples began to make a path while picking the heads of grain, and the religious and political leaders did not like this. Jesus looked at them, and I feel like he sort of shook his head in exasperation and said, "Have you never read what David did when he was in need and he and his companions were hungry? How he went into the house of God when Abiathar was high priest and ate the bread of offering that only the priests could lawfully eat and shared it with his companions?" Friends, in this not so ordinary time, we need to make a path together and be fed together as companions by what is good and true and beautiful, what is nourishing and life-giving. We need to make a way forward to make even more real the kinship of God, the beloved community that God promised our Hebrew ancestors, that we inherited and toward which Jesus made a path for us. Our second reading from the letter to the Hebrews counsels us to believe in that promise, no matter what obstacles and difficulties and resistance we face. From Hebrews, God is not unjust so as to overlook your work and the love you have demonstrated for his name by having served and continuing to serve the holy ones. We earnestly desire each of you to demonstrate the same eagerness for the fulfillment of hope until the end, so that you may not become sluggish, but imitators of those who, through faith and patience, are inheriting the promises. And I love these additional encouraging words from Hebrews that follow, that we who have taken refuge might be strongly encouraged to hold fast to the hope that lies before us. This we have as an anchor of the soul. These words are echoed in the full quote from our beloved John Lewis. Do not get lost in a sea of despair. Do not become bitter or hostile. Be hopeful. Be optimistic. Never, ever be afraid to make some noise and get in good trouble, necessary trouble. We will find a way to make a way out of no way. We will all find our way, a way. One way I'm finding my way is to go deep into the soul circles to whom I belong. One of which is the Women Who Stay at Holy Trinity, where 30 of us are taking a course together in concert with a similar group at Xavier Church in New York City, in which we're listening to the biblical voices of our ancestors, women of wisdom, and finding our voices along the way. How are you finding a way to make a way out of no way right now? Do not get lost in a sea of despair. Whatever stands in your way right now, do not try to make a path forward in isolation and alone. I invite you to enter into today's gospel and walk alongside Jesus. And maybe as you imagine the scene, you're with a soul circle of your own, laughing and singing and talking as you make a path, a way out of no way. Maybe you pluck a grain for yourself. Maybe you hand one to someone beside you. And maybe you get into a little good but necessary trouble. Whatever you do, hold fast to the hope that lies before us. This we have as an anchor of the soul. Hold fast, my friends.